I used to work as a security officer, and I was asked to work a Saturday night shift at an old warehouse in my hometown. I turned up at 5 p.m. where the building was, a huge brick warehouse with some makeshift offices at the front. I walked in, took the keys from the day officer, and locked the doors behind him. Everything seemed normal for a while. It was a bit creepy as the building was so old, but I was used to that. Around 1 a.m., I got a call from the warehouse manager. One of his night drivers had forgotten his paperwork and asked me to go into the office right at the back of the warehouse and collect it for him so he could come pick it up. I said fine and headed to the office. The warehouse was pitch black. I had a small flashlight, but it only slightly lit my way. I walked through until I got to the office door, which was a huge metal sliding door, if you can imagine those kind of doors. It made a big screeching noise, real eerie as I pulled it open. I'm sure you know the type. As I walked in front of me was the office fax machine, which was blinking, and the paperwork was printed out. Even though this was a fax machine, this wasn't that long ago. I grabbed the paperwork, but as I turned around, I looked to the other end of the office and saw what I can only describe as a dark figure hunched over and shivering. I could hear what sounded like breathing, but like if you were freezing cold. I stood there for about 30 seconds, motionless, staring at this figure. I turned back slowly and closed the door behind me, rushing back to the front office, where I locked the door and waited for the driver. An hour later, the driver collected his paperwork, and for the rest of the night, I convinced myself it was just the dark playing tricks on me, even though I kept the office door locked and repeatedly checked the cameras every few minutes. 5 a.m. came, and I got a knock on the door from the day officer. I handed him the keys and expected him to go in, but he locked the door from the outside. I asked him if he was going in. He said he doesn't go inside when there's nobody else inside with him, but rather sits in his car in the parking lot and waits. I told him, well, that's a bit strange. He looked at me and asked if I went anywhere else other than the security office. I told him that I went to the back office to get paperwork for a driver, not telling him about the other part. I'll never forget the look he gave me or what he said then. He looked me in the eyes and said, well, then you know why I don't go in there alone. It gave me chills, but I shrugged it off and just said, okay then, and left for home. Safe to say, on the way home, I called my office and requested not to go back there again. This is 100% a true story. Thank you kindly for watching and listening. If you haven't already, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell so you can be updated on upcoming releases. And as always, stay tuned for more scary things.